The moon hung low over the abandoned textile mill on the outskirts of Rahim Yar Khan, its silver light slicing through the broken windows like shards of glass. The air was thick with the scent of rust and decay, the kind that clung to your skin and burrowed into your lungs. Aisha, 22, beautiful in a way that made men stare too long, had come here on a dare. Her friends, drunk on cheap whiskey and bravado, had bet her she wouldn't spend an hour inside the old mill. They'd laughed, called her crazy, but Aisha, headstrong, defiant, with eyes like polished obsidian, had taken the bet. She'd slipped through the rusted gate, her sneakers crunching on shattered glass, her heart pounding with the thrill of proving them wrong. The mill was a labyrinth of shadows. Looming machines, their metal frames twisted and skeletal, stood like silent sentinels. Threads of old cotton hung from the ceiling, swaying in the faint breeze like nooses. Aisha's phone flashlight cast a weak beam, barely cutting through the darkness. She moved deeper, her breath shallow, telling herself it was just an old building, nothing more. But the air grew heavier, colder, as if the mill itself were breathing. She heard it then, a low guttural hum, not mechanical, not human, but something in between. It vibrated in her bones. She turned a corner into a vast weaving room, where rows of ancient looms stood in eerie formation. The hum grew louder, pulsing, alive. Aisha's light flickered, then died. Darkness swallowed her. She fumbled with her phone, cursing under her breath, but the screen stayed black. The hum stopped. Silence pressed in, so complete it felt like drowning. Then a whisper. Not in her ears, but inside her skull. Aisha. Her name, soft, intimate, like a lover's murmur. She froze. No one knew she was here. Her friends were waiting outside, half a kilometer away. Who's there? Her voice cracked barely above a whisper. The air shifted, thick with the stench of sweat and something metallic like blood. A shape moved in the darkness, tall, too tall, its edges blurring into the shadows. It wasn't human. Its limbs were too long, its movements jerky, like a marionette with cut strings. Aisha's heart slammed against her ribs. She backed away, her heel catching on a loose bolt. She stumbled, fell, her palms scraping the gritty floor. The thing was on her before she could scream. Its weight pinned her down, cold and impossibly heavy, like a slab of iron. Its skin, if it was skin, was slick, rubbery, pulsing with veins that glowed faintly, a sickly green. Aisha thrashed, her nails clawing at its face, but it had no face, only a smooth, featureless expanse where eyes and a mouth should be. The whisper came again, louder inside her mind. You're mine now. Her jeans tore under its claws, the sound sharp, final. She screamed, but the mill swallowed the sound as if it had been waiting for her. It didn't speak again. It didn't need to. Its intent was clear in the way it moved, deliberate, predatory. Aisha fought, kicking, biting, her teeth sinking into something that tasted of rot and ash. The thing didn't flinch. It pressed harder, its body shifting, splitting, revealing a maw of jagged teeth that weren't teeth but shards of metal, rusted and sharp. She felt the first cut, a burning line across her thigh, then another, deeper, across her stomach. Blood pooled beneath her, warm and sticky. The pain was a living thing, clawing at her insides. But worse was the violation, the way it tore into her, not just her body but her soul, as if it were feeding on her fear, her defiance, her very essence. Time dissolved. Minutes, hours, she couldn't tell. The mill's shadows writhed, forming faces, women, girls, their eyes hollow, their mouths open in silent screams. Aisha saw them, or thought she did, as the thing's claws dug deeper, as its body pressed into hers, unnatural, invasive, wrong. It wasn't just taking her body. It was unmaking her, peeling away layers of who she was. Her screams turned to sobs, then to nothing. Her strength ebbed, her vision blurring with tears and blood. Then a sound, distant, human. Her friends, calling her name. Aisha, where the hell are you? Flashlights pierced the darkness, cutting through the weaving room. The thing hissed, a sound like steam escaping a broken pipe. It released her, slinking back into the shadows, its form dissolving into the machinery. Aisha lay there, trembling, her body a map of bruises and cuts, her clothes in tatters. The flashlights found her, and her friends' voices turned to gasps, then screams. They carried her out, their hands shaking, their faces pale. The mill seemed to watch them go, its windows like eyes, unblinking. Aisha didn't speak. She couldn't. The doctors in Rahim Yar Khan stitched her wounds, asked questions she wouldn't answer. The cuts were too precise, they said, not like any animal attack. The bruises, the way her body was torn, it didn't make sense. They whispered about Jinn, about curses, about the mill's history, how girls had vanished there decades ago, their bodies never found. Aisha went home, but she wasn't the same. The beauty that had once turned heads was shadowed now, her eyes haunted, her smile gone. At night she heard the hum, felt the weight, saw the faceless thing in her dreams. It wasn't done with her. Sometimes in the corner of her eye she saw it, tall, blurred, waiting. The mill was miles away, but it lived in her now, its claws still sunk deep. Her friends never spoke of that night again. They avoided her, their laughter replaced with uneasy glances. Aisha stopped leaving her house. She sat by her window, staring at the desert beyond Rahim Yar Khan, where the moon hung low, just like it had that night. She knew it would come for her again. The mill didn't let go. It never did. One night the hum returned, louder, closer. Aisha didn't scream. She didn't fight. She stood, walked out into the desert, her bare feet sinking into the sand. The moon lit her path, and in the distance the mill's silhouette waited, its windows glowing faintly, green, alive. She didn't look back. The thing had won. It always did.